The In-Laws, Part 4. A Story by E.B.'s Heart. Amora called her mother's younger sister, Auntie Franka, to help her. Auntie Franka was a Catholic reverend sister, in charge of a very big orphanage home in their city. She stopped communicating with Amora's mother and her family after they joined Pastor Okeke's church. She tried to make them understand that they cannot leave Catholic Church because a certain pastor promised to help them financially. This caused her excommunication between Amora's family and herself. So she was surprised to hear Amora's voice on the phone, after almost 7 years of not hearing from them. "Why are you crying, Amora? What happened? Slow down and explain. Let me understand you. My husband's family is after my life. Auntie, please come and save me." "Where are you?" Auntie Franka shouted on the phone. "I am at Chevron bus stop. I have been running. But I can't seem to run again." "Okay. Find a place to relax. I am coming to get you." Amora started shedding tears when she remembered how she and her siblings, including her mother, insulted Auntie Franka in the past because she refused to support their joining Pastor Okeke's church. She kept insisting that his gifts were too good to be for nothing. "I wish we listened to her." Amora shook her head in regret. Victor and his driver have been driving around the city too, trying to find Amora. Her mother gave them the address of her best friend Naomi, thinking Amora would go there. But she was so surprised and scared when she learned she wasn't there. "We don't have any other close relative Amora could go to. All our close family members are in Enugu." Amora's mother was telling a desperate Victor. "You don't have to look for her again. We just performed a ritual that will bring her here. So turn around and head back to the estate." Uncle Babs called to inform Victor. "Once I call her on the phone and she hears her name, she would start coming to the estate immediately." Uncle Babs told Auntie Moki, who was asking how the ritual works. Amora covered half of her face with a big scarf. She had switched off the telephone line that Okosans have, and was now using the new line she recently bought and gave to F. So it was only F and Auntie Franka that she just called with the line, that knows the number. Uncle Babs was calling the line. They found it in F's room. Amora believed the caller must be Auntie Franka, so she quickly brought her phone to answer. The phone fell on the ground, and was trampled on by a woman who was quarreling with a bus conductor over her complete change. Amora ran to pick her phone from the ground, but she was pushed. She almost fell to the ground, if not for a man that caught her. "Let me help you get the phone. They will wound you or the baby," the kind stranger said. By the time the phone was picked up, it has been damaged beyond repair. Amora wept bitterly, and people around were wondering why a lady looking so rich would be crying over such a cheap phone. She was so scared of putting on her other phone, just when she was about to put the phone on, because she needed to call Auntie Franka. A hand tapped her shoulder. "Amora, is that you?" She looked up to behold Auntie Franka. She hugged Auntie Franka and started sobbing. "Let us leave this place." Auntie Franka took her to the bus. She drove to the place, and drove off. "Who did you say wants to kill you?" Auntie Franka asked Amora immediately they stepped into the orphanage. "And when did you get married?" Amora broke down and started crying again. "It's okay, you can tell me when you are ready. Let's pray in the chapel first. I don't like the spiritual aura following you," Auntie Franka said, leading the way to the chapel. They were both in the chapel praying when Uncle Babs put his spiritual torchlight on, to find Amora. "But why do I not see her?" he said furiously. Amora remained in the chapel crying until midnight. Then Auntie Franka took her into her room. "You can sleep now, tomorrow we will talk. They enslave young women and use them for rituals." Amora blurted out. "Who do you mean?" Auntie Franka asked her, sitting down. "The Okosans," Amora said with fear. "You mean the popular rich Okosans? How did they marry someone like you? Do you know their status?" Auntie Franka asked with disbelief. "It was Pastor Okeke that introduced me to them. He is their family friend." Amora's answer made Auntie Franka laugh. "So you think such family will marry someone in your status, if not for shady reasons? So how long have been married to them, and you are already pregnant? Yet none of you thought I should know?" Auntie Franka asked angrily. Auntie, I am sorry, you were right about Pastor Okeke. He was only grooming us to accept this Okasan family without questions. Could you believe that the lady I met there said that they erase their wives from people's memory? So once they marry you, your family and everyone that once knew you will gradually forget you ever existed. I am so scared for my mom, she trusts them completely, and I know she will be helping them now to search for me. Auntie, the lady I met there, said they eat people alive. She couldn't tell me much. But the fear I saw in her eyes told me everything. I need you to protect me. I don't want me or my baby to die. I can feel they are viciously looking for me. Amora said and started wailing. If that is the case, you can't stay here. You will leave first thing tomorrow morning. Some of the sisters are going to Ghana tomorrow for a retreat. So you will go with them. Stay there until you feel safe. I will call your mother later to tell her of our plans. Auntie Franka assured Amora. Auntie, please, tell my mother I came to you and left. But please never tell her where I went to from here. She believes they are good people, so she trusts them. The next day, Amora dressed like a reverend sister and followed the other reverend sisters to travel to Ghana. When they were driving out, they found out that the police was checking every vehicle leaving the city. Amora started panicking. This might be the work of the Okosans. They have too much power in this country, especially in this city. Calm down, they won't even search us, Sister Maureen said. Sister Maureen was in charge of the movement. When they got to the police checkpoint, Amora sighted Uncle Babs and started shivering. They are here, she muttered to Sister Maureen's ear. Just calm down and keep praying your rosary. Uncle Babs was on the phone. He even looked away when he saw the branded bus, boldly written, Holy Rosary Sisters. They passed and Amora started shedding tears of joy. Uncle Babs and his search team searched almost every vehicle that left the city that day and even the day before and the day after. They gave Amora's picture to hotels and restaurants to call them once they see her. Meanwhile, Amora's mother was crying and so scared for her daughter's life. I wish she told me what was making her run from her husband. Have been tortured and beaten mercilessly to tell them Amora's whereabouts and what she told her. She kept telling them she doesn't know where she went to, but they didn't believe her. It was during the torture that they found Amora's new phone number. So they believed she knew more than she was telling them. They also asked her what she told Amora that made her flee from them. Refused to talk. Then they set F's father's filling station on fire. They showed her the video and told her to talk or else her father's corpse might be in the next video. F now told them all she told Amora. Uncle Babs was so angry, and this was what prompted the city-wide search of Amora. 1 week later, Auntie Franka called Amora's mother. At first she refused to pick, because she thought Auntie Franka might have heard of her predicament and was calling to tell her, I told you so. But when she picked, Auntie Franka simply said, I know where Amora is, come to the orphanage, we need to talk. Amora's mother quickly jumped to her feet. Unknown to her, all her phones were tapped by the Okosans. So when she called Auntie Franka back to get the address, Uncle Babs and his men were also listening. Uncle Babs and his men got to the orphanage first and took Auntie Franka straight to their estate. When Amora's mother got to the orphanage, she met all the sisters and children crying. They told her that Auntie Franka had been kidnapped. She fell on the ground wailing.